Hey everyone, it's Cal from Dirty Weasel. As most of you already know, Bethesda's next big IP, Starfield, has been delayed to 2023, after being initially scheduled for November 11th of this year. After reading the announcement that came out on May 12th from Bethesda, something has been bothering me. Let's read over that announcement again. We've made the decision to delay the launches of Redfall and Starfield to the first half of 2023. The teams at Arcane Austin, Redfall, and Bethesda Game Studios, Starfield, have incredible ambitions for their games, and we want to ensure that you receive the best, most polished versions of them. They continue, we want to thank everyone for their excitement for Redfall and Starfield. That energy is a huge part of what inspires us all every day and drives our own excitement for what we are creating. We can't wait to share our first deep dive into the gameplay of both Redfall and Starfield soon. Thank you for your support. It's the first couple of paragraphs that keep nagging at me. It is not unusual for games to be delayed that have been in development in the past couple of years. But to have an announcement for two games from two different studios at once is definitely an anomaly. The initial release of Starfield was highly publicized, and I can see why Bethesda would want to get ahead of the news by putting the announcement out there as soon as possible. But why include the news about Redfall? As a refresher, Redfall from Arcane Studio Austin is a vampire-themed co-op shooter that was first announced at last June's Xbox conference. It never really had a hard release date, only a preliminary target of September 2022. It had some decent buzz around it, but never to the level of the hype for BGS's Starfield. Outside of both studios being under the umbrella of companies that make up ZeniMax aka Bethesda Softworks, which is now owned by Microsoft, what do they have in common? What is the link that would lead to a joint delay announcement? This led me to start digging around, seeking some answers. Okay then, the basics first. They are both slated to be released on PC and start out as Xbox exclusives and will be day one Xbox Game Pass releases. Check. They use different game engines. Nothing there. Bethesda Game Studios in Maryland versus Arcane Austin in Texas. Two totally different COVID requirements, so that doesn't check out. You get my point, basically going through what we know about both games and looking for links. In my research, I found an interesting tidbit. On May 10th over on Twitter, Phil Spencer, the CEO of Microsoft Game Studios, posted that he was visiting Bethesda HQ in Maryland and included a picture as you see here. Really great to be at Bethesda, seeing games and talking with talented teams here. So good to be back in the studios again. The same day, Xbox marketing executive Aaron Greenberg posted a pic to Twitter from the same gathering, but from a different angle. So we can safely assume that it did happen on the 10th. Both pics clearly show team members from both Bethesda Game Studios and Arcane Studios. That is certainly a significant coincidence that both Xbox/Microsoft bigwigs visited Bethesda to see Starfield and Redfall just 48 hours before announcing that both games would be delayed. Yeah. The very same day as the delay announcement by Bethesda, Phil Spencer replied on Twitter, "These decisions are hard on teams making the games and our fans. While I fully support giving teams time to release these great games when they are ready, we hear feedback. Delivering quality and consistency is expected. We will continue to work to better meet these expectations." Let's parse this one out a bit. Number one, it doesn't read like it was crafted by a PR team like the delay announcement itself. Further, what is the first statement? These decisions are hard on teams making the games. Being the opening phrase, he is signaling that it is foremost in his thoughts. It could mean that the dev teams were opposed to any delay. While I support giving teams time to release the great games when they are ready, yada yada yada. This is a qualifier. It's a long-form way of saying, but delivering quality and consistency is expected. We will continue to work to better meet these expectations. And that's the hard bottom line. That's the end message he wants to deliver to the parties mentioned in the opening phrase. It's executive speak. Let me attempt to translate since I've been in managerial roles in the past. Here we go. How's this sound? Dear dev teams making Starfield and Redfall, I know this is hard on you, but I expect quality and consistency, and we are going to keep working at it until that expectation is met. Sound about right? So, did Phil Spencer make the decision to delay both Starfield and Redfall during that visit to Bethesda on May 10th because he felt they wouldn't be ready by the initial release dates? I have no way to know for sure, but it is quite likely. Let's see it from Mr. Spencer's point of view. This is potentially a $1 billion decision. Remember, these two games will be the first Xbox exclusive productions coming out after the $7 billion purchase of Bethesda by Microsoft. And they will both be available day one on Phil Spencer's baby, Game Pass. How many millions of dollars are riding on the success of Starfield and, on a lesser basis, Redfall? Over 9 figures? Yeah, there's a lot riding on this. With the train wreck that was Cyberpunk 2077's release fresh in our collective memories, I am absolutely sure that he knows how much Microsoft stands to lose in long-term sales if Starfield repeats Cyberpunk's mistake of releasing a buggy and broken game. If I were the CEO of Microsoft Game Studios, which I'm not, I'd be looking for Bethesda to make the next Skyrim, not the next Fallout 76, if you get what I mean. And if Phil Spencer saw anything that could call this into question, and possibly even jeopardizing his own position as CEO, my guess is that he'd want Starfield and Redfall delayed. Did he make the decision to delay both games all on his own? No idea. But we can safely assume that he saw the state of both games and had a very serious meeting with Todd Howard and Arcane Studio director Harvey Smith. In the end, it doesn't matter how it exactly played out. The fact remains that the delay announcement was written and published less than 48 hours after Phil Spencer visited Bethesda and saw both games. That's one hell of a coincidence. I have a last-minute addendum. Yesterday, at an E3 briefing, both Phil Spencer and Todd Howard gave some comments regarding Starfield. I won't go into detail about them because it really doesn't add much to this video's topic, but Todd Howard was quoted as saying something that is a bit confusing. We're putting the finishing touches on Starfield, which is an incredible opportunity for us. Huh? What? It's June and we are looking at a release in the first half of 2023? It's going to take almost a year to put the finishing touches on Starfield? That sounds like a lot more than just the polish mentioned in the delay announcement. Anyway, I did reach out to Bethesda's PR team to pose these questions to them. But as is usual for the tight-lipped Bethesda, they have not responded to my request. If they do get back with me, I will post an update to this video with anything they share with me. Also, if anyone has some inside information they wish to share, they can contact me on my Discord channel or through my business email. Links are down in the description. In any event, we are looking at approximately another 9 months to a year before we see Starfield and/or Redfall. There are many questions to be answered about both games. But we are just a few days away from June 12th's Xbox conference, and I'm confident we will learn more at that time. By the way, I will be restreaming that Xbox conference on June 12th and the extended conference on June 14th here on the Dirty Weasel Media YouTube channel. Leave me a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts regarding Starfield and Redfall. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more of this type of content, please like the video and share it with your friends. Also, be sure to subscribe to us here on Dirty Weasel Media. I would appreciate it. My name's Cal, I'm from Dirty Weasel, and I'm signing off.